All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kedro Coffee Chat. Today I have with me Ravi Kumar Pilla, which is a software engineer in the Kedro team in Quantum Black. And just a quick introduction before we start. So these coffee chats that we do twice a month are an opportunity for us to show something technical that's interesting or novel, or maybe features of Kedro that you might not know. And we want to give ample time at the end for questions. So feel free to drop any questions you might have on YouTube, on LinkedIn. And remember that there's no silly questions. So please feel free to let us know what you think. And without further ado, I'm going to let Ravi show us how to visualize your Kedro pipelines with a new component that we've introduced recently, which is the Notebook Visualizer. So Ravi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Juan. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Hello, everyone. As Juan was mentioning, today we will be seeing a feature on Databricks called Notebook Visualizer. Thanks for joining. And I'm Ravi Kumar Pilla, a software engineer on the Kedro team. So before we go to see on what the Notebook Visualizer is, for starters, what is Kedro? So Kedro is an interactive development tool for visualizing your data science pipelines built with Kedro. And I hope everyone is aware of what Kedro is, but for starters, again, Kedro is this toolbox which you can use for your data science pipelines, and it incorporates all the software engineering best practices. So on the right hand side, in the picture you see, this is the Kedro visualization, where you can see we have a few components called nodes, data sets, and with a set of nodes you can build pipelines. So this is very helpful when you have a Kedro project and you want to show it to stakeholders or someone who doesn't fully understand what the code does, and basically you can show them how the pipeline is developing, or let's say how your data is flowing. And there are several other features which you can check over on our documentation site for Kedro. And today we will be focusing more on the Notebook Visualizer. So this is a feature which we introduced in Kedro 11.0. So this allows users to visualize their Kedro pipelines on notebooks without a full-blown Kedro project. So what does I mean by that? During your data science exploration or data exploration journey, we see a lot of data engineers and data scientists use Jupyter notebooks, and while they are experimenting with their pipelines. And until now, Kedro only works for a full-blown Kedro project, but not in your Jupyter exploration journey. So what Notebook Visualizer does is it provides you an API where you can actually visualize your data exploration journey as and when you're experimenting and you want to show the progress in a notebook. You can use our new feature called Notebook Visualizer. And this has been tested across different notebooks, like Jupyter notebooks you can use on Databricks as well, and you can use in Marimo notebooks, and as well as VS Code. So for getting started, the prerequisites are pretty straightforward and simple. You need to have Python installed on your local environment, and then you need to have a virtual environment to install other dependencies like Kedro and Kedro. And we recommend having a Git or a version control where you can collaborate with your peers. So for quick setup, again, this is entirely a feature on notebook. So you can just install a notebook and then open it using Jupyter notebook command. And then the only thing which you need on the notebook instance is your Kedro and Kedro installation. So once you have these, you are pretty much you're ready to use the Notebook Visualizer. And the one which we recommend is having an installation of Kedro on your local, and then use our CLI command Kedro Jupyter notebook, because this will give you a way, like once you complete the exploration, you can also create a full-blown Kedro project out of it. Moving on, like the usage, again, the usage is pretty straightforward. So if you are already aware of what Kedro pipeline and node is, like you just need to um, import from the pipeline module which Kedro provides, and a node is nothing but a simple pure Python function which is basically like you can pass in your pure Python function and inputs and outputs. So in the usage section here, what you see is like I created a dummy pure function which doesn't do much, but you can add on your logic or any custom logic you want inside this. So it takes in a data set and returns a data set just to put emphasis on the visualization and not the logic behind. So this is how you can create a node. And then let's say I have a pipeline with only one node right now, but you can have set of nodes. And then for visualization itself, you need to import NotebookVisualizer via the integrations module that is present on Kedro. Once you have that, you just need to pass the pipeline you created and then use our show method. Here, what you see is the actual visualization which you can see on the notebook, which we will be going to demo in some time. So the notebook visualizer itself provides you different configuration options. Like these are the display options which we provide. And again, like this is nothing but an API you can access Kedro Viz visualization. So we provide all the display options that Viz has. And here, if you see, this is a full blown, like you have a full blown Kedro project. You open Kedro Viz via Kedro Viz run, and then you see like we have global navigation bar, you have a sidebar, you have an action toolbar, you have a lot of things that you don't need apart from the flowchart. Like when you are in the exploration journey, the main focus should be on the flowchart. So that is what the notebook visualizer defaults to. But again, like if you are in need of displaying these, you can always customize using the options. So somewhat technical, but it is like what exactly is happening under the hood. So when you do dot show, like what we are going to do is create a HTML content and then embed it in an iframe, and then this is the iframe which you will be seeing on the notebook. So what are we doing in the HTML itself? It's not like a black magic or something. So this is something like we create a R string, which is a simple HTML document. And the magic happens here where we import an ESM module of Kedro. So for someone who is aware of JavaScript, it is straightforward. But for starters, like it is like this bundling thing where like you have a React application. Since Kedro is a React application, we bundle it as a JavaScript file, and then we host it. So this is basically hosted in our repo, and we are importing it. And this is how we construct our HTML, and the data itself is coming from the notebook. So that is what is happening under the hood. Moving on, like yeah, the next thing is like I want to show you a demo, and the use case is pretty simple. We have a customer data pipeline that we want to build. We have a raw customer data which we will be loading, and then we will be cleaning the data and adding some additional information on top of the data, and then compute some statistics and generate a report. So the idea of this demo is not to show how Kedro works, but just to show you how the notebook visualizer can be used, and to show you like how the pipeline grows. And it is pretty clear using the visualizer. Everyone who is not aware of what the notebook cell is doing, still they know like how the data flows in your pipeline. Yeah, so heading on to the demo part. So yeah, I hope like this is clear. um, uh, the VS Code which I'm showing, or maybe I can zoom in a bit. Okay, so I do have a demo project ready with a few notebooks, which I will be opening. But for this, like I already pre-installed Kedro and KedroVis. So if you see pip show KedroVis, so I do have 11.0.1, but this feature is available from 11.0. So what I will do is open the Jupyter notebook. And I created this customer pipe notebook, which I was discussing the use case with like, let me clear outputs of all cells. So, so yeah, the step one is basically loading your raw customer data. So for this, what we will be doing is like our function is pretty simple. It just returns a dictionary, sorry, a list with some customer information, and then we want to create a pipeline out of it. So we pass in a set of node, and then let's see like how the visualization is in the first step. So once you execute this, if you see like basically there is a function which is loading your raw customers data. Um, at this point, it doesn't make sense. Like why do we need this visualization? But let's say like on step two, you have other nodes and your pipeline grows. As you see like here in clean customers, what I'm doing is like I'm only taking information of customers which have name, and now my pipeline has two nodes. And when I do notebook visualizer and pass this clean customers pipeline, so the pipeline grows like let's say I loaded the raw customers information, and then now it passes on to clean customers function, which does some magic and then gives you a clean customers output. Similarly, you can again like on step three, as I was mentioning, like you can enrich customers data. So what I'm going to do here is like adding some geolocation information for customers, and then I'm creating two nodes. One is to load the geo data itself. This can be, so this is pretty simple dictionary here, but it can be complex, like you can load data from a different location, or some sort of logic you can put in, and then you add on to the nodes to the pipelines. And now if you see the visualization, it keeps on growing. Like now you have this another function which loads your geo data and puts in your enriched customers, and this function combines all this data and gives you a data set of enriched customers. And now I want to compute some summary statistics. Again, the logic is not important, but to show you like how the visualization pans out. You can see now the enriched customers is again added to like as an input to compute stats, which is a function, pure function, and then gives you customer statistics. For the final generate report, it is again like the logic is pretty simple, but this is, let's say this is your final output and you want to also utilize the display options that are available. So I just made true for everything here, and you see here like once you click on you execute this cell, you can see other things than just the flowchart. So again, this feature is not just for basic exploration journey, but you can use this feature for even for a full-blown Kedro project. Like this is a magic command to load the Kedro context, which gives me pipelines and stuff. So my demo project, which I started, has some pipelines already, which is like, let's say a full-blown Kedro project with lot of nodes. So you can actually use Notebook Visualizer and pass in your default pipeline and use the same show method, which actually gives you um, so this is how like a full-blown Kedro project can be, and you can use this to visualize in your notebooks. So before this, like how users used to do is like we did had this run with align magic, where once you execute this, it actually gets you Kedrovis from the project path, but not the data that is present in the notebook. So yeah, if you open Kedrovis, it is the same, but this is a full-blown Kedro project. And you can actually do this in Marimo as well. So I will be showing you quickly. So for that, you need Marimo installed. I do have Marimo installed, and Marimo operates on .py files. You can use commands that are available in Marimo, like Marimo convert, and you can convert your notebooks to .py files. And here I'm just going to open it, Marimo edit notebooks and customer pipe.py. So this will open me a Marimo notebook, and yeah, you just see like what we have seen on the Jupyter notebook. That is the same thing happening on Marimo as well. So every step, like you can see how the visualization changes, and this can also be done on your Databricks. So I do have a Databricks instance where basically I imported the same notebook file. You can so the thing with Databricks is you need to install this Kedro and Kedrovis, because this is not something on your local. And once you have done that, which I already did, so once you do that, again it is the same. Like once you create and your pipelines, you can visualize it via Notebook Visualizer. I will stop here. That's all for the demo. And open it for questions.
Thanks a lot, Ravi. That was fantastic. So we do have a few questions in the chat. So I'm highlighting this one from Dimitri. Is it correct that catalog here is not important? I shouldn't care about it. I think this is related to the last demo you were doing. And as well as about the function itself, I can declare only name of the function, right?
Yeah. One second. So I think if I understand your question, Dimitri, correctly, so you are mentioning like whether the catalog, which we do have, we can actually send catalog as well on Notebook Visualizer. So one second.
Do you want to show? Do you want to show your screen?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we see the documentation.
Yeah. So basically, for a basic exploration journey, like let's say someone who is not aware of data catalog and stuff, like you can actually use Notebook Visualizer without even passing a catalog. But for starters, like catalog is this place where we define our data sets, and you can do much more than that. But it is a centralized place of accessing like a YAML file where you have these data sets. And basically Notebook Visualizer also accepts a catalog, which you can define like in your notebook, and then you can pass it to the Notebook Visualizer. But yeah, the initial setup right now for Visualizer is pretty simple, where you can just see the flowchart and not care much about the catalog. But we do provide an option of passing on the catalog. And is there any other part of the question?
There's another question, actually. Well, this was the original one. So as well about the function itself, I can declare only the name of the function.
As about the functions itself. So you can actually, you can also define just the name of the function, but ideally, like when someone is doing exploration on Jupyter notebooks, they do define like the logic behind the function. But the flowchart itself, the function name is enough.
Excellent, thank you. And we have actually another question, which is, what about standard DAG checks that Kedro does? Are they the same? Is it possible to create something like a cycle in the DAG, therefore not a DAG anymore, and visualize it with this API?
So how we built Notebook Visualizer is on top of Kedro. So whatever Kedro follows, like Kedro doesn't allow you to create basically the like acyclic loops. So Notebook Visualizer definitely like tries to mimic what Viz has. So it also doesn't allow you to create cyclic DAGs. But again, like for, so the idea is like you explore the data you have and then create a genuine Kedro project at the end. So yeah, you can actually create DAGs which are like cyclic, but then it doesn't help you. So on top of it, like we actually it is a wrapper on Kedro. So yeah, to answer your question simply, like we don't allow cyclic graphs.
Fair enough. Thank you. And is there any last minute questions? Any last minute question from the audience before we wrap up the coffee chats? I think there's none. So that concludes our session for today then. Thanks a lot, Ravi, again for the fantastic demo. And please, everyone, like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.